Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday, and welcome to this week's edition of Allied's 10-Minute Talks. I'm Jason Moss, the marketing manager at Allied Communications, and as always, I'm here with Brian Doyle and John Reese.
Hey
Good
guys.
morning.
Good morning,
What's going
guys.
on, fellas? So, for this week, we're going to discuss phone systems, in particular on-premise versus cloud. And Jonathan's going to walk us through, Jonathan and Brian are going to walk us through the differences and similarities and benefits, really. So, John, I'll throw it over to you.
Yeah. So I just wanted to start off the race on basically the benefits and the differences between premise-based and cloud-based solutions, right? They both have their place. I know many customer clients, companies, they're all moving to the cloud one way or another. But premise systems still have their place, like in like hospitality environments, ton of hotel rooms, right? Ton of phones that are never used. No company wants to pay for every single phone on a monthly basis that aren't being used, right? So the premise-based systems for high density solutions like that still have their place. There's not much thrills to it. It's an on-prem solution. It works. You're able to dial out, able to dial 911, able to dial internally. Normal features, right? When you're moving to the cloud-based solutions, you get all that added functionality that just works. Like integrations to maybe click to dial in Google Chrome. Now there are applications that you can do on premise-based systems that require like third-party connectors and whatnot. But, when you're working with a cloud solution, hey, guess what? You click that little download button, get that Chrome extension, and you're able to click and dial, and you're off to the races. Off your smartphone, mobile device, desk phone. It's all integrated with each other. I know myself, we use a premise-based system still in house, and I go through every little cloud solution that we have, and I play with a lot of them. And some of the differences between a premise-based system and a cloud-based system, it really comes down to customization on call routing. Like one of the biggest things I find, a lot of my clients like to have that control over the night and day rather than just setting out a time condition, right? Don't you hate it when you call that right 1 minute after and it goes to that night auto attendant? Well, some clients like to, have a little bit of control and they can do when they please. And that's like one thing that not all cloud solutions can do easily, where, you can customize that simply on a premise-based solution and really customize those routes. But when it comes to, go ahead. When it comes to the cloud solutions on the time conditions and the routing, there is still some granularity you can get, and you're able to even still log in out of hunt groups. That's some of the features that aren't really adopted by every single cloud provider, but by some. So you're still able to get some of that functionality there. But the normal button programmings like your parks, your speed dials, your busy lamp field buttons, those are all apparent on the cloud solutions like they are on the premise-based solutions. But the added features on that cloud solution over a premise is the fact that you don't have anything on site to manage anymore. All that complexity of you be able to just download a mobile app just works, right? You can do the same thing on a premise-based system, but then you have to manage that in-house or in a shared data center that you're managing on a day-to-day, and you're doing those upgrades. And anything that's going on with routing, you have to troubleshoot, or your local vendor has to troubleshoot. Where it comes to the cloud, it just they're staying up, they're maintaining that on a day-to-day, doing quarterly, yearly updates just to make sure those features are still coming through and everything's working correctly. And the great thing about that cloud solution is it's on all providers, whether you're a 5-person shop or a 5,000-person shop, you're getting all the same features, all the same functionality, and you're in those same data centers with those redundant ISP connections, redundant data centers across the country for geo redundancy. Say if one data center drops off, the other picks up. Now with a premise-based solution, you're hosting that at your site. So one of our recent storms we had, I know a couple of our clients, they lost complete power. So phones are offline. All we can do at that point is send to a cell phone, right? When you're on a UCaaS solution in the cloud, sure, you don't have power at your office, you don't have internet at the office, but you can work from home. You can just turn up that mobile app or open up your laptop and install that soft phone and acting like you never even lost anything, right? Especially paired with, Cloud Office 365. You're able to communicate any which way.
So, where I'll come at it's maybe a little bit differently, right? I'll come at it more from the user perspective. So John's kind of giving you some of the features and benefits in the platform. But the way I see it is just the flexibility as a user, right? So, I've got a small organization. We scale in size. Sometimes I bring on contractors that I need to get connected in. The utility approach of cloud telephony is huge, right? We need somebody for a 3-month assignment. We can get them a phone. We can get them hooked up. We can get them as part of the overall fabric, but they don't have to be there forever, right? I don't have to buy a phone and put it into that system long term. The other thing I really like is it allows everybody to use the phone the way they like to. You can have a hard phone. I personally like to use the exact same setup I use for these calls on Zoom and on Facebook Lives to make my phone calls. So I've got my earbuds in here and I'm using an external microphone, right? Who would have thought that's how I'm going to be making my phone calls in life long term? Yep. So, the soft phone capability does it. The fact that I can then take my calls and bring it on this guy when I leave and actually transition those calls to my cell phone when I'm walking out the door to play in my car. Huge, benefit. And now with some of the ties that they have into some of the other unified communication platforms like Teams and other things, it's just, it's limitless how these systems really can work for us. So, I'm really excited about where UCaaS goes. I'm in the UCaaS camp. I'm not in the on-premise camp. Sorry. And, I'm always about things that are scalability. So, I just see as a business owner, it gives you a lot of flexibility to do things you need to do. I use sometimes outsource Filipino virtual assistants, and all of a sudden you can bring them in and they can answer your call here in Connecticut. Those are the little things that without me having to send out phones, without me having to do a whole lot of work to get them involved, they can just, download this app and go, right? So that's the exciting stuff I feel that UCaaS brings to the party. I don't know if you've got any counterpoints to that, John, but I'm going to trumpet that one.
That usability, right?
Yeah.
Everything's incorporated. Like when Brian, I know you're on Teams now fully, yep. And the fact that you can make calls, you can host your meetings, you can collaborate with any of your clients over one platform, just screams value to any user because they don't have to learn anything else, right? Yep. It's all within one platform, and that's what cloud solutions can do for you because they're constantly upgrading and adding integrations and adding features to make the user's experience is that much better. And again, with premise, they still have their use, but it's just not as that. You don't get all those integrations without all that added complexity, right? Where we have these providers, that's what they do on a daily basis. They're keeping it real for these users and making it just seamless for everybody.
Awesome. So we got a couple minutes left. My additional adds to this is, obviously on-premise does have a place. We do see in the enterprise space, there's a lot of reasons that on-premise makes more sense than a cloud solution does. And a lot of that goes into custom hooks you want to put into some of the systems that cloud UCaaS can't necessarily support, right? While many of them might have integrations into Salesforce, they might not be as in depth or as scalable as the solutions that an on-premise can offer you. So, while I stand on the UCaaS side, let's, be sure there is really reasons for a premise side. Sometimes fiscally, it doesn't make sense if you're a smaller organization. Sometimes, you can pay off the phone system in 3 years and get your 2 lines and be a little bit more fiscally responsible. But for most people, the usability outweighs that.
Absolutely.
Any thoughts from you, John?
Anything, and anyone was on the fence about moving to the cloud and worry about your internet. Say if you're a school, they do have low usage extensions that you can that provide you a low cost per user, and they also have backup capabilities. So if you did have reasoning that you didn't want to move to the cloud because of those local backup, there are some providers that can provide you a local backup solution to tie in some analog lines in case you lose your internet. So if anyone's on the fence, there are solutions out there for you.
Awesome.
Perfect. Oh, that was great, guys. Thank you. Closing out the final minute here. So just want to wish everybody a happy Friday and have a great weekend. As always, thanks for tuning in. You can catch us next week at the same time. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Sounds great, guys. Thanks.